Hi, yo, hello again, and welcome to what is sort of kind of our very first live video rundown here at auburnsports.com. As you know, many of you watch the show or listen to our show on auburnsports.com. We have a podcast that I think we're 363 shows into or something like that, B-Matt?
Sounds good to me.
Yeah, it sounds real good to me, too. And we've been trying to get, well, I'll put the blame on myself. I've been trying to get a video show up for a number of months, all the way back to August or September, and man, I just could not get this thing to work. But I got into just basically begging nerds on the internet to help me with this stuff, and I got in with a special build of Skype that has, it doesn't even matter anyway. We got it working now, I think. And Brian, how you feeling about this, bro?
Now everybody sees my ugly mug. It's just,
You are live, of course, from the Matthews Estate in northern Auburn, Alabama. I am working from the Montgomery studio in Hampstead. I guess that's southeast of Montgomery. And we're going to do this, man. Before we get started, of course, you guys know the drill. I got to tell you guys, the rundown, even the video ones, are presented by Voodoo Wing Company. It's the spot for wings in Auburn. It's the place where you go to get your wing fix. It's the place where we go, typically on Tuesdays. We were there this past Tuesday, right, B-Matt?
That's right. And hopefully we'll be back there again because I'm craving some wings.
We were able to brave the mass of snow.
Yes.
And overcome the intense polar vortex and the several inches of snow that threatened to shut down the entire portion of the state. But we were able to fight through because we wanted to go to Voodoo Wing Company. We love the wings there. We love the taste. We love the aroma. And we love the service we get there, Brian Matthews.
I love being able to walk in the door and be handed my drink order before I even order.
Which happens.
Every time. Yes.
We're fairly important. We people know us there.
Yeah.
For those of you who aren't maybe voodoo celebrities like Brian and I and Benny and Jay Lee, I can say that they have 12 different sauces from which to choose. I like the voodoo. Brian likes the voodoo. I also like they just call it Cajun Ranch now. They have so many delicious sauces. Jay Lee, of course, demands the hot. And B-Matt loves himself some nanner pudding, although I got the key lime last time, B-Matt, as a finale, and it was delicious.
Pretty good.
You guys got to check that out, Voodoo Wing Company, just a little bit north of the interstate on College Street there, just a little bit north of where the Supper Club once stood, where Jay Lee was once thrown into a trash can. Listen, we will move on. Brian, we got a fairly big basketball game tomorrow. The Auburn Tigers taking on the hated Crimson Tide of University of Alabama. Look at that. I got to resize your screen there. I don't know what happened. Are you there?
I'm here. Right there.
You're in and out, bro.
Oh, I have internet problems.
Uh-oh. Internet problems are the worst.
Nice. How about sound?
It makes it really hard. See, like when we do this on the show, like the audio show, I can just edit this out, but more on video, I can't. Yeah. We used to do this at camp when people would act up, which you're not acting up, but your internet is, and they would just say, I'll wait. And you had to put your hand up and dumb shit like that. Anyway, the Auburn Tigers are going to be playing the hated Alabama Crimson Tiders inside the Auburn Arena. I believe that's an 8 o'clock tip, Brian Matthews, which means
7. It's 8 o'clock Eastern, 7 Central.
7 Central.
Yes.
Of course. I made a mistake there. I was really hoping for like some daytime tips.
Very nice every once in a while.
The news today was that Bruce Pearl indicated that a certain center by the name of Austin Wiley, which we thought Austin was going to be available for this game. I don't know, B-Matt. Sounds like he might not be available.
Yeah, I'd say probably not. He is going to get a tough workout today, Bruce said, and they'll see how he responds tomorrow. So far, responded well, no pain, he said. But, it hasn't been tested like he's going to be tested today. So I don't think Bruce wants to take any chances with him. So unless they get a perfect workout today and great feedback tomorrow, I don't expect him to play.
It's another tough one, man, because when he's out, he's such a good, efficient scorer down there when they feed him and he's able to kind of work within 6 feet of the basket. But, man, when he's not there, it seems like it's tougher for them. They had a great game against Missouri, though.
And Alabama's got a lot of length. They've got a lot of big guys. Dante Hall, he's only 6'9", but it's really long. Gets a bunch of rebounds. They can bring a couple other 6'9", 6'7" guys off the bench.
Yeah.
And they got some big physical guys too. And you would imagine this could be a game where Horace and Anthony get into some foul trouble potentially. They're not careful.
They had that tough run of form, B-Matt, where they lost the 3 in a row, one to South Carolina, one to Kentucky, and one to Mississippi State. And then they come out against Missouri the other night, and they were great. I mean, first half, I think they only led by 3, maybe at half. But Bruce was pretty happy with the way things were going in general. And then in the second half, they just kind of kept up with those processes, and then they just blew them out. Yeah. Do you feel like the problems that led to the 3-game rut are still there, and Missouri is just not very good? Or do you think Auburn's kind of working its way through and getting better?
I feel like Auburn is getting better, but I feel like Alabama is the type of team that really is a tough matchup for Auburn because of their length on the perimeter. That always gives Bryce and Jared Harper trouble. That means sometimes they have to extend their shot or take a quicker shot or rush it sometimes, and I just think that's going to be an issue for them. Although they are veterans, they have gone against many other teams or players with a lot of length, so they are used to it. But still, this is the type of team that gives Auburn trouble. I think it's really important for Auburn to come out with a lot of and try to make a quick early run to get a lead.
Yeah, that would be good. They tend to not do that. They tend to get start slowly.
Yes. And
then start getting kind of panicky, and then you know what happens next. All right, so pressure on Bruce, you think, for this game? I mean, he said before, we got to win at home, and then we got to pick up what we can on the road. That means they've already lost one home game to Kentucky. They can't really afford to lose another one. Do you feel like there's a lot of pressure on Bruce here to get this one down?
A little bit, yeah. I never look at Bruce as a guy that feels a lot of pressure, as far as that goes. He's pretty laid back and tries to keep things in perspective. But I think if Auburn is to have maybe an outside chance to still win the SEC, they can't lose this game. I mean, I think this would end it. I mean, I'm not sure that Tennessee is going to lose 4 games.
Yeah.
But I don't think there's any way they're going to lose 5. And really, if they lost, they'd have to lose 6 because Auburn would have to beat them. They're that final game of the season. So I just don't see that happening. I think if Auburn wants to stay in this race, get a big win over a good team, this is an important game for them.
Absolutely. Now, on the bunker, we've been talking about Samir. He is not popular on the bunker for some reasons that I understand. He's not a particularly assertive player. He doesn't make much of a difference in games. And the idea from the bunker is, hey, why not play Malik Dunbar, who, when he's in the game, he does a lot of things well. And if you were the coach, B-Matt, what would you do?
I asked Bruce about putting Dunbar in the starting lineup, and he said that, those starting jobs are won over a long period of time. He doesn't like those players looking over their shoulder. But I might try to check things out. And it was good to see D'Angelo Purifoy have his best game in 2 years against Missouri. So maybe he could factor in there, too, at the 3 or the 4, a little bit more than maybe we thought. But what I'd really like to see, and what would be best for Auburn, is for Samir to be more the player that we saw in practice last year. He was a guy who you could run the offense through.
Absolutely.
He would drive. He would move the ball, dribble drive, pass the ball. I mean, he would do a lot of things. And, obviously practice and games are totally different, but still I expected more out of Samir. And I think a lot of people expected more out of Samir. And I still think he's got a little bit more to give than he is right now.
I do too. I mean, the thing about when he was at VCU, he got to the hole as much as just about anybody in the country. I mean, he shot like almost 200 free throws, as I recall. And this season, he's shot like 40. And he's nowhere near the same. Now, I asked Bruce about it the other day. If you guys watched the video, you probably saw that. And he was like, you can jump higher than Samir can. And I was like, I don't understand what jumping has to do with this. It's about getting to the rack and either dishing or getting the ball in the hole. And I still think he has that ability. I mean, like you said, we saw it last year. Now, take it on, pickup games or whatever against the Auburn varsity guys, maybe they weren't that fired up about it. I don't know. But the Samir we saw last year is not the Samir we're seeing right now, and it's odd.
Yeah, he just does not affect games very much right now.
Right.
I mean, he hits some 3-pointers when he gets a clean look, but he doesn't get a whole lot of rebounds. He has done well at times on defense, getting steals and being active there. He's good if he ever gets out on the fast break, but just overall, as a part of the offense, he's just really not a big factor.
I know. Still a 46% shooter from 3. He's over 90% from the free throw line, but those don't really matter if you're taking 2 threes and 2 free throws a game. Yep. He's got to find a way to get a little bit more involved. And I think there's a window there for him. Because Jared, I mean, he's kind of a ball hog, but he's good at it. And Bryce is a ball hog too, and he's good at it. But there's still some room for Samir to make a difference, and I'm surprised that he hasn't done that to this point. But we will go ahead and wrap it up since this is our first video show, and I want to make sure I had to resize the your window pane there a couple times, B-Matt. I'm not sure what's up with that. I will get back with the nerds and see if they can help me with that one. So thanks for being on the show, Brian. Brian, I have, for those of you watching, I have summoned Brian to the video screen many times before, and something's always messed up. And I'm always like, Brian, I'm sorry, dude. I don't have it. I'm not ready. But finally today, that golden light shone upon me, and the golden light wasn't actually a big stream of piss. It was happiness. It was good things happening. And we were able to do our first live video rundown, which was a good time.
Yeah, it was beautiful.
I do want to give a shout out, of course, to our friends at Voodoo Wing Company, whose love for us and affinity for what we do here at auburnsports.com help make it possible. Also, our friends at Lynch Toyota of Auburn. I know there is someone, a very important and frequent poster, who's going to be going to Lynch Toyota this weekend to look to switching cars, trade out a car, and get either a 4Runner or a Tacoma. I'm not going to say who that person is until they get that deal done. But, yeah, that's something I'm going to be keeping an eye on. No doubt about it. Your window pane just resized again.
Why does it keep doing that?
It's not your fault. It's my fault. I got to get with the nerds and ask them. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching our show here and for supporting what we do at auburnsports.com. Until next time, keep your feet on the ground and keep reaching for the stars.
Oh.